Welcome to Making Stuff with Chris Dayhut and our segment titled The Zoomtown Experiment. We're approaching our 2-year anniversary. I'll be putting up a short little yay, we made 2 years video on that here in a few weeks. But right now, we need to get caught up on where we're at based on the discoveries in the last few months and the changes to the program to deal with all these ongoing persistent problems. And a lot of that, of how we're going to move forward, was determined by nearly a month of extensive testing over and over and over again. And after all that extensive testing, I am moving forward with the project. Here is the volume of testing and the results that I'm basing this decision on. These numbers are based on mathematical calculations as I've started testing, found a problem, would restart testing. So there's actually a lot more data than what I'm actually showing in these counts. But throughout the bulk of the testing, I performed 800 parking maneuvers, 800 unparking maneuvers, 200 sweep turns, 1,000 pivot turns, 200 pull-up maneuvers, 1,100 cruise maneuvers, and 4,100 total maneuvers. Throughout all that testing, there were 3 failed maneuvers without an assignable cause. And the other maneuvers, what was really good, I was filming all that so I could watch what happened over and over again and go frame by frame and see what was causing it. And one of the most common causes of failures that I never really realized was the umbilical cord, the USB cable that you'll see hanging from above. That is how I'm getting telemetry data from the Zoomie straight back to the computer where I do all the programming. That cable, as light as it is, had a tremendous influence on certain maneuvers. As you would see, there's a long stem on the back of the Zoomie that I would tie it off to so it wouldn't run over the cable. And that created tremendous leverage for it to modify its turn behavior. So it was with great luck I discovered that. But all around, this testing has just been fantastic. The results of this are far better than anything I've gotten in testing so far. And by better, I mean factors or multitudes better. I did film almost all the testing and was planning on putting together a cute little time-lapse video, but honestly, I've got well over 15 hours of video of these test drives. And even at time-lapse speed, it would be way too long and way too boring. So I'm just going to keep that data there. I'll use it for a little backfill or B-roll up in the corner on occasional videos in the future. For me, overall, that filming process, though, was very helpful and beneficial in the diagnosing problems situation. Debugging and diagnosing, gathering data is critical. And when you can watch a motion system such as the robot over and over again while it's making the mistake and literally look at it frame by frame at 30 frames per second, you can see a lot and learn a lot from that to figure out what is going on. With all this successful testing and me talking about it probably just jinxed it, so I'll have more problems around the corner. But that testing proved to me the system is worthy to move forward. And so with that, my next step is to build 5 Zoomies. And there are enough changes in that the new Zoomie that I really need to test that thoroughly as well, because I was bypassing systems on the older Zoomie that I used in the last set of testing. As you can see up here in the corner, I think this area, I'll have a little video there, another time-lapse one, of me putting together the kit for all 5 Zoomies. A lot of stuff I have to reprint, change the schematics and wiring diagram, all this sort of stuff. I've got a lot of additional work to do on these 5 Zoomies so that when I build the rest of them, which will be 11 more, hopefully, everything is in order and I can do this assembly process a little more efficiently. Of greater importance in this whole assembly process and building the Zoomies is selecting components that are very similar in nature to each other within an assembly. For example, testing the motors for resistance and speed matching them in pairs. I also check the current of the motors to make sure they're both drawing the same current. That will help me to get the speed more closely matched so I don't have to deal with that in real time. All of that kind of comes from observations and trying to figure out all the problems I've had in the past that I really suspected but wasn't aware of. Well, now I'm very aware of it, so I'm very carefully checking as much as I can to make everything the same. One thing that I've learned, not only in Zoomtown experiment, but everywhere else, variability in components and assembly results in variability in performance. And that's true of everything that's manufactured, which is why in the industrial world we're held to such incredibly tight tolerances on every machine component. The care and attention of those details are also an effort to allow me to use a single version of the software for all Zoomies. I don't want to get into that situation where Zoomies 1, 3, 5, and 7 need this set of code and 2, 4, 6, 8 need that set of code to handle these subtle differences between the two. So getting it as identical as possible in hardware will hopefully eliminate that requirement. I've already got a means in place to do some fine-tuning for each Zoomie. A lot of that started from the fact for MQTT communications, each Zoomie needs to have a unique name or identity, and it's going to allow it to write back to the scheduler telemetry data and that sort of thing. I can also store other information in that data file and extract that at boot up. And that way I could have just a very simple text file to tailor the software for each individual Zoomie. That's a lot more manageable than doing it by a different version of code for every Zoomie. With that, I think we can wrap up this episode. The next episode, I'm going to walk you through some of the changes I've done on assembly. Won't be a real heavily detailed video, but I know it's going to take me probably a few weeks' time to get these next 5 Zoomies assembled and at least bench tested, where then we would move on to testing in Zoomtown over there. So with that, I'm going to wrap up this video before it gets any longer. If you've enjoyed this video series, I would greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe if you haven't done so far. Give me a thumbs up. I love the comments. Those are the most enjoyable part of this, to connect with you guys and share thoughts and ideas, or just listen to your suggestions, whatever the case may be. It's a great part of the process. And finally, if you could share this video with other like-minded individuals, that will certainly help to grow the channel. Thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.